And then let's put it on Facebook.
Bam, it's live.
Okay, and then we go Facebook, just so they know.
Come on. And then let's do this, just in case. See, I didn't mess with your Facebook stuff in here, so I didn't, you know.
It goes automatically to it.
Well, yeah, but I didn't. Let's see if it shared it on your page or not.
This is so exciting!
No.
Thank you so much. You made it so simple.
Do you have? Is there a CSL page?
Yes. It's
I was going to see if it shows up over here.
If you look,
it's right there.
Yeah, there it is. I don't know what to call it. It's called an interdenominational church.
Here.
Here we are. We just posted it on Facebook. We turned it on live, so it's live now.
Oh.
So we can come over and talk to
be
it.
careful.
It doesn't matter. People can come over and say hi.
So I just put it on your page, or on the CSL page, and there it is on your page as well.
Okay, so... Oh, what's that?
What I want to know is how
What the hell is that?
You recorded something at some point in time.
Can we get it off
you
there?
were testing. Remember?
Yeah, okay.
That you're wondering what that is.
Oh, let me post that.
So we're going to test.
Do that. I don't know if it'll work because you're on the same computer.
We don't care about seeing it over there. What I care about is just that.
In theory, it's going to come up with us with a. It'll work because we're on the same computer.
Okay. And there's a delay.
About 10-second delay.
Okay, that's cool.
Why? Oh, it's got ads. You got to sign up for a premium thing to do no ads and stuff, but.
That's right. We'll
okay.
Today, all I care about is it's working, and then I will sign up for the premium.
Come on. Here. Go away. And then we can get back over to this, and I'll make sure the picture's not. Okay. Let's just have like a link. So
obviously it did run out, and it's doing the one with the ads.
No. I think just because it was the free trial thing, it's automatically going to do it with ads.
Oh, okay.
I think you have to have a premium account to do it without ads.
All right, so here we are, everyone.
So how much does it show?
That's it.
Right there. You can see what you're even doing right there.
How about? Oh, good.
Nice. So we have to stay in our frame.
That is the audio. This little bouncing green thing here. So with you talking, go ahead and say something.
Say something right now?
Yes, hello.
All right. Wow.
It'll probably get loud when they start playing. But...
A little bit. We can turn, if it does. You can always turn it down a little bit.
But then eventually, after this test,
I love this thing.
That's great.
Oh, I know. It's my favorite.
That was the one at the show that he got.
Yeah,
Third place.
He did that one for his essential one of his Holmes
really?
project. No, his SOM 100 project.
Oh, okay. Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So nice part of
I don't think it'll. I actually turned it down a little bit, so when they start playing it shouldn't get too bad. But once everything goes, I'll come up with
Just remember, you're up there going, do you know that Reverend Patrick is here? Just remember. First day. Yeah. Actually, I just wanted to read What part of the service do you want to do the evening of fire? Fire. You're gonna do the fire thing first. Do the fire thing. Stick your face in there. Because we're only doing a can. But eventually,
Are we saying hi to anybody? Do we know? Do we know?
it's actually live right now.
Awesome. Hi, we're live. Are you? Hi.
What needs to be done? Oh, can I give you your card? Okay, so.
Oh yeah, I went and got this. Let me give you my camera.
Okay.
Aloha, universe. How's life? You guys having a great time out there? We're having a great time in Kauai. Bring it on, you wonderful folks. Aloha.
Come have coffee.
We're not Skyping, we're actually live streaming. We're live streaming. Okay, so
Good answer. I meant you.
and if you feel like you want to do that, I'm coming in for a hug. I don't care.
Did you find that empty space?
We're going there right after we're gonna run. We found it. Yes, we did. Somebody else showed us where it was. You know where lemongrass is?
Yeah.
It's actually before that. There's a big empty building. Is that the one? It's on the
It's on the left-hand side. It's in.
coming this way.
Going this way.
You'll be on the left hand
It's
side.
on the left-hand side.
Right.
I think Oli
Brown.
Massage is in there.
Yeah. But it kind of stays right on the
And it's
street,
kind
right?
of, well, it just, you can see it from the
Yeah,
street.
right. It's small. And I saw it was empty. So
It's like this, and then the building, it's a pretty good size
that's
building.
what Gabby was saying. So we
It's a pretty good size building space. There might be something that got you share space or something, depending on what it is. And then next door to Subway, it's Safeway. There's an empty space. That's like 25 or 30 feet away. This Safeway. Next to
Oh,
Subway.
I know. I went that one. It's already been bought by the You know which one I'm talking about. Big, right next by Panda.
Yeah.
There's a lot. Not too big, not
Next to Starbucks.
Yeah. Good. Thank you.
And then Kelly's idea, there was that building just on the south side, food lane. It used to be the motorcycle.
Oh, I haven't been in that one. I'll drive that.
And I think that one's for sale.
We're live. Hi, Scott. Thank you for all that info.
Well, I'm just trying.
Yeah.
If we have some investors, we could just buy the building, get a bunch of investors.
You never know. Which building are you talking about now?
The one just south of Food Lane that used to have the motorcycle place in there, that one's for
That's
sale.
on our way. On our way there, we're going to look.
which
We didn't know where the. I think we know now though. Patrick figured out the Waiakuli.
yeah, it's in White Bully. It's White Bully Township.
Right.
Inside the White Bully Township. That's the name of it.
Okay. Yeah, we're gonna look on our way home.
Bottom floor.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know what. I mean, I get it.
Which one?
The one.
That's beyond fixing.
Yeah.
My friend painted that whole thing. It's called 18,000 a month. I'm just still wondering about the hotel down here. That Kauai Beach Resort. Well, in the back, they got a pretty big open meeting place. Called the Little Room.
We don't want to go north. We don't want to go to the White Beach Resort. It's got a car.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. As you go in that's where the news that's the roof over well, we put in a solar panel. We got a light. We don't have enough to run. But this one generator.
Don't forget to
Hi.
You know,
Yes, we did.
we've got a camera we can bring into this, and we've got a very nice mic.
Aloha, everyone.
Aloha!
Take a seat. We're going to start. Welcome to CSL Kauai. Have a seat. We have some good news today. Is everybody listening?
No. I am.
Nobody's listening to me. Forget who I am.
There you go.
You're all excited today. I love the energy. It's great. But take a seat now and be quiet. I got my hair.
You're here for the first time.
I got attitude. All right, so the good news is that thanks to Dan Lane, who's been helping me with this, we are live today. Yay! Yeah, so just shout out aloha right now. Aloha! Okay. We don't know if anybody's watching, but we're live. Okay. We'll work on that part. So welcome to Center for Spiritual Living Kauai, and we like to start with our announcements. And I like to start when I have everybody's attention. Okay. So first of all, before I forget, there's a gentleman here, Ira, who's looking for a place to rent. And raise your hand, Ira. So if anybody knows of a place for rental, you can go talk to him and see what he's looking for and all of that. So that's that. After service today, we're celebrating Birthday Sunday today, so for March birthdays, and so we want to say happy birthday to the people I have. There might be others, but Marco and Kelly and myself and Bob Warner, who's not here, and Jeevan, who's not here. Does everybody else have a March birthday? Nope? Okay. Well, we'll be having pumpkin pie after service. All right. So, yay. We are forming a team for the Lidgate Park Earth Day cleanup. So there's a sign up in the back, and I promised Tommy we'd have a team, like a really good team, ready to go. Last time we had about 15 people. It'd be nice to even have more than that. So if you think you can do that, it's a wonderful opportunity to help take care of the park that we all use and love. So join us on April 18th at 7:30 in the morning with your CSL Kauai t-shirt on, of course. Okay, we all know by now, well, we don't all maybe know, that we have a youth center. We're waiting for children to come, and I guess they'll come when they're ready. But we do have a wonderful person over there, Janice, who is ready to take them into her arms and her wisdom and bring out their wisdom. So if you know of any children looking for a place on Sundays to come and just be empowered, tell them. Yeah, well, yeah, there's us too. That's true. And we are looking for a new home. You all know that, most of you. So you could talk to us. You could talk to Scott. Where are you, Scott? Raise your hand. You could talk to Kelly. They're helping us out with this to try to find a place soon. We know more than likely we're going to have to be out of here by August, but we don't want to wait till they push us out the door. So let's just look now, because we're really outgrowing this room also. Classes are starting in April. They're on the, where's the bulletin board?
Outside.
Oh, it's outside. But there's a sign up in the back for 2 accredited classes that are starting in April that are in your program. And then, so if you care to take those classes, they're open to anyone who's willing to make the time commitment to them. All right, so that's that. And then Spiritual Cinema Night. This is in Princeville on the 28th. I think it's also in your program. We're doing the documentary Finding Joe. And we would love to have you there at 6 p.m. 6 p.m., right? Yes. On the 28th, Saturday. And then on the 31st, we're doing a sound healing evening with Carrie and Michael Fox, and also meditation and music and spoken word. So that's on the 31st of March. And then we're done with March. Woo, how did it happen so fast? It's amazing, right? And we have another membership Sunday coming up on April 12th, right? So if you're considering becoming a new member of Center for Spiritual Living Kauai, we have 105 members now. And we are taking on the mission of awakening humanity to its spiritual magnificence. And that's what we do as members. We awaken ourselves and then just shine our light to the world. So if you want to join this journey with us, talk to us later, and there's membership forms in the back, and April 12th will be when we're celebrating new members again. And even if you're not here all the time, you know, if you're like off island part of the time, we have members off island all, you know, that come, and then this is their home. These 2 of them sitting in the seat right here, that, you know, they are members of our center and supporting it in consciousness and financially and all of that, but they're still in other places and they come back. So it's good. I think I covered everything. And for those who didn't hear, we are live today. Yay! We're using a little webcam for now, but we are live today. All right, so cool. Like I said, I don't know if anybody's watching, but we're live. So with that said, I think it's time to light our peace candle. I'll let Patrick come up and do it. Yeah. You're live, honey. Can't be casual anymore. They gotta,
I'm supposed to act different.
they gotta see how, like, they have to see
I
how,
don't
like,
think so.
how we are. So we light this peace candle every Sunday to remind ourselves that peace begins within ourselves. Can't have peace if we don't have it within ourselves. That's where it starts, and then it goes out into the world from there. So just take a deep breath and just go to that center place where there is only peace. And let yourself just, for these next few moments, center ourselves for our service, center ourselves in our life, in this very present, unborn moment. And then I have a little seed thought, should you care to take it in with you, that says, the only limit to your garden is at the boundaries of your imagination. So just let your imagination soar right now. Enjoy your time. And so just bringing ourselves gently back into the awareness of being in this room, being in our bodies, but just staying in this place within and knowing that the only limit to our garden is at the boundaries of our imagination. I'm here to remind you of your magnificence, to help you awake to all the wonder that you are. I long to show you all the joy you're worthy of. I'm here to remind you how much you're truly loved. And what I know right here and right now is that we are truly loved. We can't help but be truly loved because we are that love, we are that magnificence, we are that divine light, that source, that power that is all that is. It is sourcing through us, as us uniquely, and it's a beautiful thing. So I know that we are always unfolding perfectly in that light, in that love, in that divine energy. And we bring it here today to celebrate together, to remember, to become even more aware of it, to share it, to give it and receive it. This is a perfect flow today, I know that, and I know everything is lined up for that perfection right here in this divine unborn moment. So I just give thanks for it in advance. I give thanks for everyone here, for the music, for the speaking, for the prayers, for the communion, for the community coming together. Each and every person here, I give thanks, knowing that we are in our divine right place, right here, right now, and always. So knowing this, I just release this word. I release it with that thanksgiving into a law, into the law that says yes to me at all times. And I know it's done. As we say together, and so it is. So please join me. I'm here to remind you of your magnificence, to help you awake to all the wonder that you are. I long to show you all the joy you're worthy of. Turn to someone next to you. I'm here to remind you how much you're truly loved. Hello, thank you. Yay. Welcome again, everyone. So we have a youth center today, and we have, if you would like to go to it. Would you like to go? No? Oh, she wants to sit here. Okay. All right, that's okay too.
All right.
All right.
We just want to be a place of full options.
Yeah.
Aloha.
So that's all right. So, okay. So welcome everyone again to Center for Spiritual Living Kauai. If you didn't hear me before, we're actually live today, so people can actually watch us. We don't know if anyone's watching, but we're on Facebook letting them know that we're live. So maybe somebody will catch us, and next week we'll give them a little bit better notice. But anyway, we're grateful for that, and thanks to help from Marco and also to Dan Lane, who just finally got us on today. So thank you.
Because Marco set us ahead now. We have a lot of, we were just speaking yesterday about that, we have a lot that we already have on our website, and then this will be the addition to, having this live.
So right now we're just using the webcam, but we're here. So, okay, so with that said, who's here for the first time?
Hey, aloha, and welcome. We have something for you.
Keep your hand up. Keep your hand up. Yeah. So you're in a Center for Spiritual Living, which is a center that believes and does its best to practice the divine presence in all of creation. That's what we do here, that's what we celebrate, and we know something about you. And we are going to let you know what that is right now. So, are we ready? Yes. You are magnificent. That's the truth.
That was a relief, wasn't it? It's like what's going on here? But you're close to the door, so don't you worry. Anything that you need, man, it's right there. There we go. So, yeah, I was just going to say that we really couldn't say that to you unless we know that about ourselves, right? Isn't that true? So let's say it all together. I am magnificent. Now turn to who's ever next to you and just let them know that they are
Okay. They are.
I bet you're wondering what all that dialogue is right now, besides you are magnificent. Yes.
So, in addition to celebrating our magnificence, which we just remember that every Sunday, like I said, that's our mission, is to awaken humanity to its spiritual magnificence. Because once we know that, I mean, come on, guys, we go out into the world that way, and everything, all the other things that are happening there are met with that kind of love and awakening that in other people, and all these little troubles that we think we have, big troubles, will start to melt away, and they already are. I can feel it. And yesterday at our equinox celebration, I'm sure you all went to one, maybe this weekend we did one in Amini, and you could just feel the energy and the shifting of our planet that's happening right now. So we are all part of that, and we are all responsible for that. And because we get to use our minds, which are so powerful, that impress this law of cause and effect, the more positive that we can think, the more that we can bring that positive energy out into the world. That law is being motivated by that and directed by that, and all good things are possible for our personal lives and for the planet. So that's it, us in a nutshell. So, okay.
Shall we have our opening?
Yeah, I'm ready.
So this is
Jeremy and Amy Brown, our wonderful musical team.
And if you want to stand, that would be great, so we can get a little energy going like we need more.
Let's sing on Nice Deep Breath before we sing the song.
beautiful. Thank you. And welcome again. So next on our program today is beautiful being of light, Malia Reed, who's one of our Science of Mind students who's been taking the classes for a long time now. She's almost ready to go into practitioner studies. And we asked her to come up here and just share her light with us. So thank you, Malia. You want to use that?
Sure.
All right.
My name is Malia Reed, and I've been taking the Science of Mind classes for a year and a half. And I did actually take one twice because I really wanted to get it down. And I feel like, well, the Rev said, "We want you to do in the light." I'm like, "What am I talking about?" And they said, "Well, what about class?" And I said, "Okay." So then I read this quote by Franklin Delano Roosevelt: "Men are not prisoners of fate, but only prisoners of their minds." And that made me realize that, oh yeah, that's what my life used to be. I used to be a prisoner of my mind because I would always let outside circumstances or the monkey mind, like contradict my life. But then when I started doing the spiritual mind treatments and the affirmations and the meditation, it really helped me to realize that I can change. And I mean, I've always done yoga and meditated, but I just didn't, I needed to take it a step further. So with these tools and the philosophy, I feel like it's really helped me. And the main thing is the spiritual mind treatment. It's like, acknowledging that there's a presence in the universe and it's for good, and then unifying with it, knowing that we're all part of that energy, and then declaring what we want to manifest: health, happiness, prosperity, peace of mind, and then we give thanks, and then we release it. It sounds so simple, and it is, but it's not always easy because, you really have to do the work. You don't just sit there and say, "I'm rich, or I'm health, I'm healthy." You have to do things about it. So in Science of Mind, they say treat and move your feet. So that's what we do. We treat and then we move our feet. So we don't, just sit around reading. So this quote I'd like to read really quick from, I can't pronounce it. It's a Greek philosopher, Heraclitus. "Applicants for wisdom do what I have done. Inquire within." And that's what it's all about, is inquiring within and seeing what we need to work on, and doing the prayers and doing the affirmations and the spiritual mind treatments. And I just want to encourage everyone here who has challenges in their life, which we all do, to give it a try and see if you would like to take these classes. I'd highly recommend them. Thank you for listening.
Thank you so much. And you're right, it really sounds very simple, and it really is. It's just connecting with what we are at all times anyway, and that is this life force that has given us this incredible gift. And spiritual mind treatment is not a voodoo practice. It's a simple, just remembering who you are, connecting, and as Malia was saying, and releasing it, and trusting that there is something so wondrous living not outside there, but living inside here. So thank you. And speaking of gratitude and mahalo, we have Jeremy and Amy, who yesterday we were just like, Rita and I became like groupies. We were just like, wherever they were, we were. So we were at the market in Hanalei, and we got to enjoy them there. And then we went to the Equinox in Anini, and they were there again, and we just shared so much blessing, better known as rain, together. And and so it was a wondrous day of just Rita and I being able to just be a part of it all, and to sing and dance on this island, and to get completely wet. And for me to just go, once you get a certain wet, it's just, everything is just all uphill from there. You just go for it. So thank you very much for that. So Jeremy and Amy.
Yeah, that was really fun. So our special song is called Anu O'o, which is a bird, a native bird. I believe it's endemic to the Kauai forests. And this bird hasn't been seen since, I think it's been since the 80s. Yeah. And the black feathered bird, beautiful bird. And this song was written about it. You know, I think it's actually on other islands because this song talks about Hilo, Hawaii, Big Island. But I think that what it is the last one was seen on Kauai by David Boynton. And, or at least he heard it. He was the last one to hear it. So, a beautiful song. And of course, the Hawaiian poetry, there's different meanings within this song. So it's definitely for a loved one.
Love that you bring us the Hawaiian music. Thank you so much. Such a blessing. Talking about Hawaii, we got some roosters in our house. Somebody said to me, "You got roosters in Princeville?" Well, let me tell you, 12 roosters were standing on our driveway this morning. And the other day we got scolded. We got scolded because we fed the roosters. And that's why we have 12 roosters standing on our driveway. So I'm just gonna Patrick and I have been like going, okay, so we're day 6 that we haven't fed them, but they're still there. And we're like, how long will it take? That's the topic today, right? Well, what we finally came to is that, well, it'll take, we're saying it'll take until they break their habit. But when we said, well, no, what it's really going to take is when we break our habit of stop standing there feeling bad. Because I think roosters are very telepathic from what I've read about them, and chickens, as we call them here. And they're probably just going, well, if we stand here long enough, we know this woman is going to give in. Anyway, so, well, I could tell them a little secret, but I won't. No. Anyway, so today we're talking about how long will it take? How long will it take? I found this great picture of this girl sitting, because we've been talking about gardens and our mental gardens, right? I found that great picture of that girl sitting in front of the garden just staring at it, wondering how long will it take. And I think that's sometimes how we feel when we're trying to demonstrate something in our life, or we're waiting for something and we're like, well, how long is it going to take? So I looked up about germination, the process of germination of a seed, because we think of the same thing in science of mind. The creative process we've been talking about is our mind, our thought is that seed that we put in mind. So it says germination is a process in which a seed or spore awakens from dormancy and starts to sprout. This process is critical to the growth of new plants. So I thought about this in regards to us. Like, sometimes our thoughts just like, we're wanting something, but it's dormant. Like, we're not really activating it. That's what spiritual mind treatment does, is activate it. What ends up happening instead is we end up like all the stuff that's in there active that we don't really want and stuff is propagating itself. But there's this beautiful seed, which is what our conscious, that we can use consciously and plant in that soil and release it from its dormancy by just saying yes to it. So it also said that dormancy is influenced by external factors such as temperature and light availability, with seeds and spores being programmed to remain dormant if conditions are unfavorable for growth. Well, that could be true for us too. Like, we have our seed and it is influenced by outside conditions if we let it be. Like, if we let it be, but we don't have to let it be. If we like give it contrary thoughts and things like that, these are the things we've been talking about this month, so I'm kind of doing a little review here. Then that is all affecting our seed, right? And then people think they can manipulate the conditions to force the germination or the dormancy of the seed. Well, we also kind of do the same thing sometimes, and it's kind of more about what I want to talk about today, is like we try to think we have to make things happen. We don't have to make anything happen. We don't have to compel this law of cause and effect. Ernest Holmes wrote, "We must not feel like we must compel the force to work. It is the nature of the creative power to take form, and it is the nature of man to use it, or woman." So we don't have to put any power into our seed thought. That's what sometimes it's called willpower, like, oh, it's got to happen, it's got to happen right now. That's the stuff that obstructs us. The thing is, and don't like confuse that with going out and moving your feet, like Malia said, treating and moving your feet. That's a different thing of moving. But what you're doing is you're moving with it instead of trying to force it. So you're speaking your word, you're putting your seed thought into that. And if it remains unobstructed by outside things that contrary thoughts and like that, it has to grow. That's the law of growth. And it is a universal law that the thing will grow, the thing that you are thinking, your thoughts will grow if you leave them unobstructed. And just, what do? You nurture them with positivity, with love, with sweet contemplation of how you want your life to be. You just enjoy that idea that it already is. So that's how it happens, not by forcing it. It can be an awful strain to think you have to make your life happen instead of just walking into your life like it's already happened. And it's a little like kind of thing in your mind that has to just change about the way you look at it. And I know a lot of us here have already do this and already experienced this. And I know every day of my life I experience this idea. And what ends up happening, like the end of dormancy triggers a cascade of reactions that ultimately ends in the projection of the roots and the radical or growing tip of the developing plant. So that plant's coming out of the soil, just like our manifestation when we leave it unobstructed and feed it with all that good thoughts and all that good contemplation and trust and faith, is going to manifest for it. So how long will it take? That's the question, right? Okay. Well, it's very interesting because some of you know Reverend James, who was our teacher and is our friend, and he's giving a talk today. I think it's really funny. His talk title is "What Are You Waiting For?" So how long will it take? And Patrick hates when I do this, when he asks me something and I answer it with a question, but I'm going to do that now. It's like, how long will it take? Well, what are you waiting for? That's really the answer to the question. Now think about that for a moment and breathe into that. What are you waiting for? Edwin Gaines always tells the story of the Red Sea with Moses. Whether it happened or not, it's a great metaphor. That the Red Sea did not part until Moses stepped into it. And then it parted. Because he knew. I read another thing about Jesus, that it said, like, if Lazarus hadn't come out of the tomb, Jesus would have dropped dead. I think it was Ernest Holmes that wrote this in one of his. I was like, what does that mean? What it means is that he believed so much in life that if that hadn't happened when he said, Lazarus, rise forth, then he would have had to die too, because it would have been meant that it was a lie. But does that make sense? So it's about stepping into it and accepting it before it happens. So Thomas Troward wrote, we must therefore regard our mental creations as spiritual realities and then implicitly trust the law of growth to do the rest. We must therefore regard our mental creations as spiritual realities and then implicitly trust the law of growth to do the rest. Treat and move your feet. So moving your feet means you're moving like it's already done. That means that if you want to get married, you're going and looking at wedding dresses. If you want to get, a trip, you go to the travel agent or wherever you go for trips and start looking at trips like it's already done and start exciting yourself about it. If you have a project you're doing, you start on it like it's already done. When we used to, there was a screenwriting, way of writing a screenplay. I think it's called 21 Days or something. I can't remember, but it was so perfect because she would make us take blank pieces of paper with the title of the screenplay and 120 pages, because usually a screenplay is going to be 120 pages or something around, and put it on our desk and look at it every day like it was already done. So the blank pages were there, the title of the screenplay was on the top, and it was already done. And then you start to write like it's already done. And you don't get in the way of thinking about how am I going to say this. You just get in the flow of spirit and you let spirit guide you, because then that's what ends up happening. Is you end up getting intuition and things that you wouldn't have normally gotten, and people showing up. The cascade of the cascade of reactions from near and far that are magnetized toward you because you have said it's already done, and then people start to show up. When you say, I already have my perfect lover, you're putting that out there instead of saying I don't have it. So we can't come from a place of need. We have to come from a place of completeness within ourselves. So Ernest Holmes wrote, the student should take time every day to see his life as he wishes it to be, to make a mental picture of his idea. He should pass this picture over to the law and go about his business with a calm assurance that on the inner side of life, something is taking place. There should not be any sense or hurry or worry about this, just a calm, peaceful sense of reality. Because when the universe makes a demand upon itself, it has to meet the demand. And we are the universe. Within us is that universe, that creative process we're talking about. The whole planet, the whole universe is using that creative process at all times, and we're part of that, so we're using it. And when we make a demand on it, it has to do it. So how long will it take? This is the answer. It'll take as long as there's nothing within you that denies it anymore. It's called embodiment. And we've all been there, I know it, at some time in our life when we just knew. We just knew. And then it just happened. And we think, oh, it just happened. No, we just knew. It's called embodiment. It'll take as long as there's nothing inside you anymore that's denying that it can happen. So the question is, are we waiting for something outside of ourselves to make it happen? Are we waiting for somebody else to do something before we think it's okay to make it happen? Are we waiting for somebody to be okay with a choice that we're making before we decide to go forward with it? Those are all the kind of things that stand in the way of embodiment. And then it's this acceptance. With that embodiment comes acceptance. The fourth step of treatment used to be called Thanksgiving and acceptance, because we can't receive anything if we don't accept it. So it's a feeling of just, I'm ready. I have this now. I know no matter what, this is who I am, and this is how my life is unfolding right here and right now perfectly. I know it, and I'm walking out into my world knowing that. Because nothing comes from desperation or compelling the law, besides more desperation and more compelling, or things to do that. So Ernest Holmes wrote, and I'm gonna close with this, knowing that the law moves with us as we move with it and obey its nature, which is just to say yes to us. He writes, principle is absolute, and insofar as any individual can actually induce within consciousness, that's your consciousness, upon principle, a definite, concrete acceptance of his desire, it will manifest, even though every thought on earth had to change to compel it. If it were a bit of information that was needed for the demonstration that only one person on earth knew, and that person was in the center of Africa, the information would be produced. We don't know how this intelligence, this law within us, surrounding us, this thing that created the universe and the stars and everything, we don't know how it works, and I don't know if we ever will know how. The only thing we need to know is to trust it and to accept our good now. Namaste.
Who was here last week?
Why is it doing
Okay. We talked a little bit about this whole idea of mental gardening, and we've been doing it all week. And I got a little bit excited about about where I was at with this whole idea of to really finally land in this place that it's spiritual. And someone asked me the other day, they said, because my big thing is about spiritual logic. And we have spent most of our life, because of being raised wherever and however, to look at the conditions and to look at things logically. And there's a benefit to that. I'm not trying to say, especially for the young ones here, that, throw all logic out and it's all spiritual, but actually I am saying that it is all spiritual. And I'm not saying throw it out, because there's all that good stuff in there, but at the end of the day, it is spiritual logic. And a lot of people say, well, what does that mean to spiritually, logically look at something? We're dealing with time and space that really has no time and space. We created that. Just want to make sure I have my glasses so I can read this. And someday, speaking of seeing, nice little thing here, I have perfect vision. Just FYI. These are real easy when I bought into something that said, 40s, 50s, losing the eyesight, meaning I have to get reading glasses. So now it's real easy. Actually, this is easier for me than for me to claim my perfect sight, which I have. How could it not be that when I am based in spirit? It would have to be. And then you say, well, that's just the way life is sometimes. That's the way you say that life is sometimes. That's what I say life is sometimes. Ernest Holmes says, in the natural process of evolution, what we call time elapses. 1 day, 1 week, 1 month, 1 year. But in spirit, there is no time. How could there be? How could there be time? I can't even imagine a being of the allness of allness going, I wonder what time it is. Is it time yet? I wonder how long it's going to take for that universe to unfold. No. No. And that's who we are, but sometimes when we're not believing that's who we are, that's when we put on the glasses. The spirit is timeless. Therefore, the mental and spiritual practitioner, that would be all of us, whether or not you're in class or not, must not deal with time. He must transcend time. Not only must he transcend time, but he must turn away from any form of limitation. God is not limited by any form. He, she, turns to the formless, for out of this a new form shall come. Lots of words, right? But there's a bottom line to it. We are now in spiritual training. I mentioned that last week. We are learning something that is not taught when we first get here. But yet, that is who we are when we first get here. The idea to me of this how long will it wait is in the decision, better known as the seed. In the decision that says, I am ready, I am this. I'm walking, as Rita said, I am walking from this place of whatever it is that we want to manifest. Emma Curtis Hopkins, if anyone heard, she is a girl that is not afraid to mince any words about this idea of spirit. She says, I do not say I am owner of the universe in order to get possessions, but because it is true that as spirit, I am the possessor of all. Yeah. She's the possessor of all because of what we're talking about, of who and what we are. And that is spirit. Spirit at all times. So what's this thing about no time? Yeah, try that when you're going to work. You know, try that when you're meeting an appointment. That says, well, you know, Rev Patrick said there is no time in the mind of God. So that's why I'm not here. That's why I'm not here, because there is no time in the mind of God. Don't get all into the word stuff. Get all science of minding, as we call it. We call it that there is no time in the mind of God, so that when you are manifesting something in your life, we can relax now. We can let go of our stress because we know who we are. I love our little Pooh. Winnie the Pooh said, what day is it? It's today, squeaked Piglet. My favorite day, said Pooh. It's all happening right now. Yesterday when we were at that, out in nature, I forgot who I was. When we were having rain coming down on us, and there was this prayer that was being done that lifted. I'm still vibrating by just mentioning it, because we stood in the timelessness of life. And oh, isn't it easy to do when we're out in nature, right? And the blessings are coming down on us, and we just let go. And we say, oh, all that stuff I got to do, all the personality that I am, and you just let it go. How long will it take? We're in such a how long will it take, right? How long will it take to get to the North Shore, should you decide to go there? How long does it take to get to the North Shore to Kauai? Yeah, how long does it take? It takes 45 minutes. I know that. It takes 35. You don't know anything. If there's a wreck out there, you're going to be there for hours. You're going to be there for hours, the timelessness of life. And I'm just sitting in this idea and inviting us all today to look at this idea of timelessness, because then you're not caught up in all of the conditions and the form. How long will it take? How long will it take? 2 years ago, this Thursday, by the way, I got on a plane by myself because Rita was going to meet me later with an idea. I got this idea. Centers for Spiritual Living, Kauai. How long will it take? What is it about? No, I didn't know how long it would take. I just became in the timelessness of my life and got on a plane. A little scared. A little bit like my spiritual self was saying, what the heck did you just do, man? Are you aware you just got on a plane to go to Kauai where nobody's at the airport waiting for you? Glad you're here. Glad you're here, Patrick. No, they're not glad because nobody knew me and didn't know Rita. It's called the faith, the trust. How long will this take? As soon as I get out of my own way. Do you think that there's anything, I'm sitting there saying, I know that this is a done deal. Do I? I question that. Not because I'm not a powerful, because you all know where I came. I was here before the Big Bang. So any of you thinking that, if you're thinking, oh good, he's becoming real human. Oh no, I am not. Just everybody get clear on that. I am living a very human experience perhaps, but I am 100% spirit. All the time. And so are you. That's why we recognize one another. So let's get back to this. Real pretty, real nice, and I love this. And I wake up but because there's a process, I say, what? I say, oh, well, there's steps that need to be taken. That's just the way that is. That's the way I was taught, that there's steps. You start at the Aloha Aston, and then after the Aloha Aston, you go to the next step. We get Scott and get everybody out there trying to, because this is the big dream. That's the big one. God don't know nothing about that one right now. Because that's real difficult in the mind of God. I'm sure that if there was this God looking down and say, oh my, such a silly dreamer, that Patrick and Rita they are. This is a big one. Not. So what does it take? It takes all of us in our consciousness. And wherever we are, hallelujah. It is time, as I said last week, to stop putting ourselves down for where we are. But please don't live there. Because there is an internal world that is just sitting here waiting for you, as we said, to make the decision. There's nothing out there saying, well, if he can just learn a little bit more and if he can get live stream up, then perhaps we'll let all of this happen for him. No. We are a community, and it comes down to knowing who you are. In the Peaceful Warrior, it says, where are you? Here. What time is it? Now. Who are you? This moment. Nothing can be created outside this moment. And does that mean I can poof stuff out of? Yes, actually it does. It actually does. Does it mean that I can walk on water? You bet it does. Do I want to walk on water? No, it scares me. Because what happens if I go down? We stop many things in our life, I do believe that, by the fear that, and we've even talked about it in classes, to get ready to manifest, right? Oh, the vibrations there. I know it's done right here and right now. Yes, yes. And then all of a sudden that little thing creeps in going, what if you don't do it? You're going to look really foolish, right? You're going to be all disappointed. Everybody's going to think, wow, you put it out there. It's okay. It's okay. What was the one thing about the 90, it's always okay to start again. It's always okay. It's always okay to start again with remembering that. So, we believe in the process, and that's what it takes. But what it really takes is to remember right here where we are, just like we did yesterday in that beautiful, beautiful moment of song and prayer and just embodying it. That's the key, what Rita was saying, to become it. I am not going to buy anymore, at least for my life, well, it's just what being a human's all about. I'm defeated before I get out the gate. I am a spiritual being who is remembering and learning every step of the way, that I am training myself to remember. I am training myself to release the amnesia, to release and come out of the coma that said that I am not God, that I am not good, that I am not life. We have to go back to being a little one, back to that moment of saying yes, or like Kiali, our little Kiali says, what do you want to be? And he says, everything. Everything. Well, you can't be everything. Oh, but you are wrong. I can be anything that I want to be. There you go. How long will it take? Think about that for the rest of the day, and you let me know next week, because the answer is lying right here where we are. Right here today. That home is there, Ira. That home is right where you need it to be. Any other stuff is not there. Anything that is not happening in your finances, it's there. Anything that's not happening in your relationship, it's there. And it takes a decision. I know it'd be lovely if I came in and did it for you. But no, as in religious science, we do not tell you what to think. We tell you and instruct and guide about how to think. The rest is up to you. Love you. Easter's coming, you know. Namaste. All righty. How's everybody feeling?
Good. Fabulous and getting better.
That's right. We ready to manifest?
Yes.
We are a walking manifestation.
Thank you.
So this is our time of affirmative giving. We give because we can. And we give because our consciousness behind everything is a millionaire. Did you know that? That money comes from me, from ideas. And I must be a multi-millionaire by this point because I got lots of ideas.
Let's do our prosperity exchange affirmation.
It's in your program?
It's in your program. Divine love consecrates my gift. It goes forth to heal, prosper, and bless. It is evidence of my conviction that God is the source and substance of my supply. I give freely today, knowing it returns to me.
Blessed am I, Spirit am I am the infinite within my soul. I have no beginning and I have no end. All this I am. Blessed am I, Spirit am I am the infinite within my soul. I have no beginning and I have no end. All this I am. Blessed am I, Spirit am I am the infinite within my soul. I have no beginning and I have no end. All this I am. Blessed am I, Spirit am I am the infinite within my soul. I have no beginning and I have no end. All this I am.
Mahalo, mahalo. Thank you for these gifts, this God in action, money, that's what it is. God in action. It goes out into the world to heal, prosper, and bless. this island and beyond. I know that, and I know that each and every giver is a receiver also. There is a circle at all times of circulation of giving and receiving, and I know that we all benefit at all times and prosper at all times. I claim that, I know that, I accept it, I allow it, and I give thanks for it. And so I just release my word into law, knowing it is done, as we say together, and so it is now. Mahalo, everyone. So first, if there is anything that came up for you during the service, there is a treatment box in the back, and you can put your treatment request in there, and we will be glad to pray on it, do spiritual mind treatment.
We call it the yes box. It only says yes.
So also I want to say thank you now. Thank you to everyone. First of all, to all of you for coming. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Thank
Good
you.
to see you.
And thank you to anyone online and who might be watching us. You never know. I'll find out for sure today. And thank you to Jeremy and Amy for always bringing us amazing, beautiful music.
Yes.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you to Deborah and Brenda, who stood at the door today and took the collection also. Where's, she had to pop out. She had to leave, that's right. Thank you for helping with us.
And
It
our
really makes a
beautiful,
difference.
beautiful Kelly.
Yes, and yeah, for coming and
Who
helping us.
jumps in here
He
and
just jumps in and just
puts up
helps us. It's
banners,
great.
does
Yeah.
bookstores, which you will be doing the bookstore today.
Record
Yes.
sales.
Record
Yes.
sales. He
The self-mastery class, we have your book. I have your book up here if you want it. If you want to purchase it. Let's see what else. There was somebody else I want to
We have
thank. Karen.
Roseanne
Karen.
and Karen, right? Well, one at a time.
All right, go ahead. No, I think it's this web streaming that's making me nervous here. No, just kidding. Go ahead.
How long will it take?
Go ahead, honey.
Roseanne and Rob. Roseanne for everything that you do, and Rob for this wondrous picture that he actually did for his project in one of the classes that he was in. So if you want any more about that, just talk to him about it. And Karen, who just comes every Sunday and just helps us set up at that wonderful hour of 8 a.m. And now
Marco, thank you.
Marco.
For all the
always.
many episodes that are on the TV because of you. Thank you
And
so
for
much.
being able to walk around where webcam can't walk around. And so, and thank you, Dan.
And Loya. Where are you? Thank you for the flowers. Yeah. We have so much, there's so much mahalo here. It's just this aloha. It's just so beautiful. Thank you. Oh, yeah. It's birthday Sunday. We have, in case you didn't know, we have cake for,
Marco,
people.
you missed that.
You
We
missed it. I'm
mentioned
gonna do
you
it
before
again.
you got here.
So we had March birthdays are Marco, Kelly, myself, Bob Warner, who's not here, and Jeevan. And is there anybody else that has a March birthday? I'm going to ask again. Okay.
I think, yes?
Oh.
Yeah, my mother's 86.
Oh, good. That's great.
Celebration of birth indeed. And I think Marcos is Tuesday, yes?
31st. This is 31st.
31st.
Yeah. Jeevan's on.
I just want to check my memory. See if-
All right. So
There you go.
with that all said, I think I thanked everybody. And Dan, thank you for helping me today. Thank you. Thank you so much. All right. I think we're ready to close out.
We are. Would everybody like to stand?
Yes.
Song in my heart, it's been singing all my life. There's a voice in my body that is true. There is so much love inside of me. Gonna open up and let it come into the light. Gonna open up and let it through. Song in my heart,
So what I know is that right here and right now we have arrived. There's nothing to get. It's all right here in this wonderful, wonderful moment called now. And it is filled with joy, it is filled with love, it is filled with passion, it is filled with life force itself in each and every one of us. So this is an opportunity to just celebrate our spiritual identity, our absolute spiritual identity. And we take this identity out into the world and we share our magnificence with the other magnificence that we meet. God meeting God at all times. So I celebrate this day. I am so grateful for each and every one of you. And I just say, yes, let it be. With mahalo in our heart, we release it, we let it go, as together we say, and so it is now.
There's a song in my heart, it's been singing all my life. There's a voice in my body that is true. There is so much loving inside of me. Gonna open up and let it come into the light. Gonna open up and let it through.
Shall we do a little birthday song? There we go.